Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, Curse of the Vampire Coast, where apparently we are never going to have any peace until there are no more elves left on the planet. This was not my plan, but now they've forced our hands. So, we're going to wipe out these elves. We're going to wipe out all of these elves. We're going to come down here to the other end of the world, and we're going to wipe out all of these elves, which are the same elves as the first one, except, far away. Yeah, that is today's video is let's wipe out all of these horrible elves. So, we definitely have to start by getting Silostra back to Ulthuan. And we need to make Samuel Fenn give chase here. Now, this is a little tricky, because they ran way deeper than I was expecting them to. So we have to decide, do I think it's going to be better to try to go around to the Eagle Gate and cut them off up north, or do we just want to pursue? I guess they're trapped right now. They can't go through the gates. They're certainly not going to be able to take a gate with that army. So you know what? We'll just give chase here, and this allows Silostra to potentially back him up in case he gets in over his head. Also, we have going on this. Here's Malekith, and he looks angry. That's for sure.
I hunger.
Did this guy try to wound me? No, this Skaven agent did not, but he might. Our chance of wounding him is not super good. I should probably just explore. We are reasonably sure that all this stuff is Skaven, but we should make certain.
Good.
I want to explore this and Blacklight Tower. Okay, so it's not a super high level settlement, but it does have quite a garrison for a miner. You have a full-sized garrison building in there. This whole area is going to be a real pain to take over, then. Alright, Peggy could ride out on Admiral Holland over here. Probably we ought to do that. No sense letting them have black arcs. We should make sure that the oceans are completely under our control. And Peggy should have no problem with this. Dude's in full sail, so he can't run away. Let's go ahead and do it manually. Just to try to minimize losses, because we really do have a lot of campaigning we have to do here. I don't have a ton of time to sit around in replenishment mode. There are so many elves to kill. And the thing is, we were going after these guys in the north anyway. But those dark elves from that nation down in the south, they could have lived. We could have lived together in harmony. But now they have set their filthy, dirty, booted foot on Ulthuan. And now their entire nation's going to have to pay. Ulthuan is for ghosts and people who are already dead only. I guess those are kind of the same group. Ghosts are definitely already dead. But I want to pull ghosts out and, make a special point about them, because in our weird two-tier caste system, ghosts are the higher tier. Alright, this looks pretty familiar. I wonder if there's only one Black Arc map. I mean, it might be the case that all Black Arcs are built identically. Is there much difference between these two? Not really. Yeah, we'll set up over here. Over here is as good as the other side. We do not have to be quite as forward or quite as aggressive this time, because we have artillery and they do not. The bloated corpse over here. Gunnery mob over here. The melee just kind of ready to do stuff. Alright, good enough. We're going to grab this part of the gun line and concave up a little bit. The enemy is not currently in our mortar range, but helpfully they're just going to walk right over into it. Peggy should be able to keep people alive pretty effectively. She's alright at her job. This should be pretty straightforward, I think. I'm actually going to try not to use the bloated corpse, because I don't think he should be necessary. Actually, we should make sure that the mortars are targeted on the ranged, because their ranged have a little bit of an advantage here in that they can fire when the line of sight is bad. Also, this should be a situation... Oh, sorry, I just want to go back to normal. Should be a situation where Peggy can just, kind of ride in on him and let him have it. Also, never mind. I'm not that worried about their ranged anymore. The guns seem to be doing a fine job.
Don't stop with haste.
I mean, I'll use it. Whatever. I can always get more bloated corpses. You guys should back up. This is gonna make a mess. Yes, get them both. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. A unit has been wiped out, it turns out. I don't know if you guys know that. Alright, let's throw up some heals so that we can get that map-wide healing going. I suppose also shoot some fireballs. Okay, this is over. Peggy, go kill that guy. And the mortars work over that one unit of still living archers. Oh, I guess we should sing our sea shanty. It is a completely free buff. Are you guys actually losing to that? Also, didn't I tell these deckhands to do something? I could have sworn I gave them some orders. I don't remember what those orders were, but I thought they were something. Alright, everybody just go shoot that lord. Get this over with real quick here. You know, she honestly doesn't do a huge amount of damage. Shoot that lord with your fireball ring. Yeah. Okay, that I mean, I think that hit. I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed with them for continuing to hold out in this situation where they are clearly screwed. Agreed, there's no way that any of these guys are going to survive this either way, I suppose, so why not stand and fight?
Enemies,
Yeah, get them with the Tide Call. This doesn't even really do anything, all it does is slow people. But it looks cool. It's a cool looking spell effect. Okay, there we go. There's the break. Run in there and scream at him. I guess fly in there. Fly in there and scream at him. Alright, pretty minimal losses. We did spend the bloated corpse, but we spent it in a really fun way, so I'm okay with that. $210 losses is almost 10% of our army, but they're mostly zombie pirate deckhand, like normal deckhands, and honestly, not a single one of those guys has any value at all except as a thing to get in the way of an enemy sword. So if anything, this is good. It's good that they died. They're doing their job. We do need to pick up the number of sirens that are in our armies, both for objective purposes and because, man, they're really a lot better than our other melee options. I'm sure the normal Mourngulls are good too. I am not attentive enough to use them the way they are intended to be used, I think. But sirens are good and straightforward.
The value lies outside of the break.
Yeah, honestly, 675 is so little gold that I don't even care about that. We'll just take the replenishment, I guess.
Admiral of the fleet.
Alright, we're sinking Black Arcs left and right, which I feel pretty good about. We should probably finish off Ghost Fleet before making any other decisions here. And I probably need to just get back to land.
Setting sail.
I love the fact that the Pirate Lords are loyal to you as long as you can... Basically, as long as you can keep engaging in combat. Or at least there's a type of Pirate Lord you can get that is loyal to you as long as you continue to engage in combat. So I'm seeing a lot of agents running around, including this one who is riding a car that has a giant statue of Cain on it, I think? That's a weird thing to do. We could have old Jim Androff to try to jump him. Might be good XP for him. Then again, if he comes outside of this army, he might get assassinated. We kind of need to make something happen in Karen Carr. Like, I guess we could just wait here a turn. until
Vampire
Peggy
of
makes
the
it back to
woods.
land. And if we're going to do that, then I suppose it makes sense to try to assassinate these, one of these agents. You are level 6, and I would probably pull it off. You are higher level. Still more likely than not. I'm going to go for it. Or, alternatively, I am not going to go for it. What happened? Why didn't it happen? Hey, assassinate. Jim seems to be having some problems. Jim, get out of the army. Okay, now assassinate. There he goes. Level 16. Keep picking up combat buffs for the moment. Okay, so now that we are temporarily not at war with these Skaven, we definitely just need to make it over to the Awakening and have at it. It seems like the fastest way might actually be over land. The sea is kind of oddly shaped here. Oh man, they're gonna get all pissy with me about trespassing. Alright. We'll get in the water. I forgot about the trespassing thing. Okay, we probably don't need another admiral right now. So, what would be good to pick up? Charge bonus and speed for animated hulks. It's just a bunch of stuff I'm not using. Physical resistance for some stuff. I guess that's okay. Missile resistance for some stuff we're not using. There's got to be something here that's still compelling. And we are using more depth guard now. Not like a lot, though. A follower that gives 15% range for gunnery mobs. That's interesting. That could be useful. Yeah, maybe let's do that. Because a lot of these other gunnery skills, we took the ones that are important. Ammunition up is not really a big deal. Yeah, okay. We will get ourselves some new crew. Alright, is there anything that I need to do? We are not actually positive on cash right now. I guess one thing I could do is remove these unnecessary growth buildings and replace them with money-making structures, I guess? Because we could get back to slightly positive. We just make sure that we have money-making buildings in every settlement that we can afford to have them in. The Shrine of Sotek has a gun recruitment building that's probably not necessary. It is really far away from anywhere where we might be recruiting. Buffing up all the money made in this area is probably worth doing. We do have 2 ports here. And then up here... Sorry, up here. Yep, we could do some port upgrades. It's nice to have, like... It's nice to be in a good spot with growth. Like, actually have enough people to unlock all of our building slots. We also can build... good free money. Sweet, sweet free money. And at this point, we can probably demolish this and put a money building in. Or... maybe I demolish this. We're only very slightly positive on... like, without this, we're at 0 public order. So maybe that's a little risky, but I really want to put in another money building. Well, actually, you know what? This is Fallen Gates. Oh, no. Fallen Gates is the gate to the north. It actually should have proper walls. I was going to say maybe we could just demolish that. But no, maybe we just don't... because this is not just a reduction in building costs. It's also increasing our amount of money made from trade. Right? Because this is our only source of this luxury resource. Yeah, alright. We'll leave it alone. Yeah, we have 2 ports and a gold mine here. I suppose that's worth... oh, and a hexawaddle producing an unusual amount of money, so upgrading that building is definitely worthwhile. We'll leave the growth building in position for the moment. I don't think that that is a thing we need to take off. I actually do really want to get the walls going here. Okay, so we went through that big stock of money pretty quickly, but we're going to be in a really good place to make more money soon here. That is a 200 gold upgrade. That's the same as installing one of these money-making buildings in a place that doesn't already have one. So is there a place where I can do that instead? Because that'll be cheaper. port upgrade. That's worth doing. But you know what? It's the same amount of money made as installing one of these money-making buildings. Torfinu is a place where we can recruit gunnery units. Do we need it to be? Probably not. So we can put put one of the buildings in there. We actually don't need this growth building anymore. Just looking for a small settlement that has... Here we go. Here we go. When the Shrine of Cain hits max level, we'll construct a wall in it. Okay, I think we've got as many money-making building upgrades going as we reasonably can. How are we doing on... Oh, somehow, still level 1. O'Bones McDonald's not really engaging in a lot of combat down there. So I don't think it'll take too long for us to wipe out Lothern and the southern Dark Elves once we actually get our armies down there. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be a few turns before we can do that. And Malekith looks like he's preparing to come to Ulthuan himself. Like, that seems like a little bit of overreach. We're going to make sure he suffers in the backfield for committing military strength that way. Yep, Shrine of Cain gets burned. Not a lot to do about that. We'll get it all back, don't worry. Salostra and Samuel Fenn will have to make some stuff happen over here. So we could just go to where they are settled in the world and burn all their stuff, but unfortunately, doing so, I'm not certain what they're doing right now. I don't like it though. But unfortunately, doing so would not actually wipe them out, because now they have a settlement here. So we have to root them out on Ulthuan anyway. And then Salostra will just take the sea lane to the south that they would use to get north, so that we can wipe out their armies as they sail up. The only reason they got here in the first place is because they got distracted by skull reefs. It is a little bit annoying, though. Like, they have to know there's no chance of this working out. Basically, what they're doing is killing themselves while wasting my time. But I suppose that's the thing about Dark Elves, is they always think they're going to win because they always think they're the greatest. I kind of wish we could get a friendly, a friendly player and convince them to come and settle in this burned out area north of us, so that we could have somebody else who can apply force, or at least threaten to apply force, northward, so that I don't have to worry about all of the elf stuff completely on my own. What would it be like to have friends, I wonder? That Red Horde tribe actually did. They spawned in the northwest corner of the world, and they're going to sail all the way to Bretonnia to mess with the Bretonians. You have to admire their dedication. They are really committed. Alright. So Salostra is going to be taking lives next turn.
All bones on deck.
Sam Fenn doesn't actually have the ability to beat these armies by himself. They are suffering tremendously from the what do you call it? All the vampiric corruption. It looks like we might be able to make it to Port Elistor. So we would have 27 units versus their 24. And some of their units are really torn up. Yeah, you know what? This will stop their northward progress. Get in the water, you big idiot.
Don't stop. Land ahoy!
The AI, the movement AI, really doesn't want you to change states between land and sea, even if it's showing you a path you can only take by going into the sea. Alright, so this is probably under control, and then we'll We'll ride north and solve the other problem up at the Shrine of
Off
Cain.
deck! Move! Moving.
Now, let's see if they actually have taken the Blacklight Tower as well. You have nobody to murder. I could go down here and try to assassinate units out of their army, but oh, that's right, I'm exhausted. And I'm actually good enough at assassinations now that exhausted doesn't take me down to below 100%.
It is your decision.
Below 0% rather. Assassination chance. It looks like we can't quite make it on land with enough movement left to go into an ambush. I can have Peggy just move around and threaten Slaver's Point. Slaver's Point's pretty weak.
I have sailed the world.
I actually like that a lot.
Three sheets to the wind.
I'm going to have her threaten Slaver's Point, which is probably going to pull Hellebron back. And then we'll just sandwich them between Burke and, what's her name here?
Shape.
Okay, so this is making me a little nervous.
Gracie.
Ordinarily, the thing that prevents a faction from getting peace with you and then immediately attacking you is a concern about the diplomatic repercussions of that set of actions, but these guys are Skaven, and there's no way they care about the diplomatic repercussions of anything.
Plain sailing.
I think, outside of this reef, we're still close enough that we could respond if they attack the High Sentinel. But I am noticing that we are now suffering some monetary problems due to the loss of some settlements. Well, I mean, if we disband Samuel Fenn's army, we are immediately massively back in the positive. So we will worry about this in a turn or two. We can just decide to be making tons of money whenever we want. Also, I do have to move a character to Elisali still. We can just hire somebody. I can just hire somebody in Elisali. I think we have some heroes left to... No? Do we not have hireable heroes?
Sing the songs of death.
We don't have any buildings in Elisali that could hire heroes, I guess. So yeah, I could just get a vampire fleet captain. Oh, you know what? When the damaged vampire fleet captain comes back, I bet she'll just appear at Silostra. Yeah, alright, I'm not in a big hurry. Silostra's legendary item is not very good, so... I think, unfortunately, that is all that we have for this turn. Man, they're going to make Silostra come all the way to the north shore of Ulthuan. That's inconvenient. Another Black Ark that we could sink. Malekith is really not... These guys are just not good at sea voyages. It's kind of crazy that the Dark Elves have been a major naval power, considering how incredibly bad they seem to be at it. No, absolutely not. You are getting eliminated. Look here, Fellheart. Okay, so... They think they can beat this. I am not certain that they're right. I guess Samuel Fenn's army is pretty bad, but we're definitely fighting this manually. Even if they're going to win, I am going to break them here as badly as we can. Because I want Silostra to be able to sweep through these two armies real fast, because she has to get up to the North Shore and deal with the other Dark Elves. How does he think I'm going to be okay with him taking a settlement in the middle of my empire, and then just being like, oh yeah, let's go to peace and let you build up a huge army in that place and then declare war on me again? So I don't really know that much about Dark Elf units. I suppose this will be a moment during which we could learn a thing. Our army is pretty bad. I'll say that. I'll give them that. They have an advantage in terms of troop quality. We have 3 bloated corpses, which are going to have to be pretty important to the effort here. Also, we only have 4 rifles, so that's a problem. So what do we have here? We have some Black Ark Corsairs with handbows. They have like 70 range, not a real concern. Sisters of Slaughter, whip infantry. Poison attacks, no armor to speak of. Doomfire Warlocks. Very fast poison attacks, man. This right here, this is the kind of unit I'm afraid of.
They will not live to
Not with this army in particular, but with our good armies. Fast-moving units that are just going to charge into us and murder our stats. That is how we could be defeated. Well, let's have ourselves a little line here, interspersed with melee. Alright, so we use the sirens to guard the gunners. Then we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with everybody else. A couple units of normal gunnery mobs at the edges to help push off scary enemies. Oh, hey, look at that. It actually didn't... Okay, hold on. So we selected the units in such a way that it should have interspersed the melee with the ranged, but I guess it doesn't do it if you have them command grouped. That's interesting. Also very annoying. Because, yeah, there should be sirens on the outside of this group. And then a deckhand mob here. And then sirens in the middle. Then this group should go right there. So now we know that it's important not to bother control grouping your guns before setting them up. Alright, so we want to have some shooters on the outside. We have a bunch of deck droppers and bats and stuff that I'm not really sure what we want to do with. It seems like most of their good units are fast enough that I'm not sure we'll be able to get a flank. I guess, yeah, we just wait until the enemy has engaged and we fly around behind them, right? Then we have a lot more melee that all just kind of... I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. We have a bunch of terrible melee that can't really contribute to the fight. They can run out in front of us and bind up the enemies, but... We have the bloated corpses who need to start in sneaky positions. We don't actually have any sneaky positions available. All of the trees are outside of my starting area. Like we could put a guy right... No, we could put a guy next to this big tree, but that's not the same thing as stealth. Yep, bloated corpses are just going to have to be kind of on the outside. Maybe put them all over here. 'Cause obviously, we want to try to catch the important units in the enemy army without getting our guys blown up beforehand. And then we have dogs, which need to dogs need to be fighting from the back. Dog units are terrible at combat. The thing they're really for is like killing enemy retreaters. They're okay, but honestly not great at fighting archers. Remarkably bad at fighting archers, really. Alright, come on, rifles. We need to see some of these cavalry units drop quickly. Okay, I mean, they're really not set up for fighting magical units. So hopefully, I mean, aside from, I assume the Doomfire Warlocks do magic damage, right? Or they have magical attacks, yeah. We gotta keep the Sirens away from them, but the rest of these units should have a pretty hard time fighting Sirens. They didn't bring any of the Doomfire Warlocks to this side. And I appreciate them advancing as aggressively as they are, because this is going to make it a lot easier to beat them, getting to fight them as two separate armies. I'm going to send a unit of bloated corpses at those dudes, and we're going to use the other two. I'm going to move the other two units of bloated corpses up to here. We'll see if we can get them stealthed up to deal with the reinforcements. I'm going to try to use the dogs to just hold these guys in place, maybe. Sisters of Slaughter, having no armor, are actually prime targets for the normal guns, the pistols. Which is nice, because we don't usually have a use for them. They have kept their lord way in the back out of cowardice, so... I have to run real far forward to Spirit Leech. I think we're going to try to save our sea shanty. I'm not sure. We should probably move the melee up at this point. We've gotten some of our initial wave of fire here, but we have to keep some of these handgunners alive if we want to have a shot during the next part of this. Man, sirens give up way too easily. I'll say leadership. You're fine and you're winning that combat. There is no reason for you to be surrendering. Alright, those Doomfire Warlocks are in a little bit of trouble. And maybe we do need to do the sea shanty now. A little worried about how this is going. Alright, the Bloated Corpse did his thing. Let's see if these guys will let me just run into them. Alright, hold on. We gotta make sure we are using our aspect of the Dread Knight constantly to keep our sirens lit up. The Sisters of Slaughter have magical attacks? No, they don't. They're just doing this much damage through the 90% physical resist, I guess. That's impressive. It's a little terrifying. Alright, so we want to kill their lord. I assume a Dreadlord is a lord? Yeah, and this is a hero. Okay. Get that cast first, then we'll do the leadership thing. Oh, they're totally going to let this happen. No, they're not. Okay. Wait, they changed their minds. I will gladly just run into their melee over here. That's fine. Oh, I'm not going to make it. Darn it. Okay, well then this guy should probably find somewhere else to go outside of the range of those units. And we got to make sure that we are... Okay, we get some good work over here. We got to make sure that we are re-optimizing our handgunners. Should have a pretty easy shot on all of these dudes. You guys can probably stop chasing there. And this is maybe the moment for the sea shanty. Alright, so you need to fire... Yeah, you can see the side of that unit. Handgunners can get a pretty clean shot on those Corsairs. You probably actually need to move... Like, you need to take up the spot where this deckhand mob is, maybe? This gunnery mob is going to have a hard time shooting through my own pirates for the moment. Probably focus on those riders. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to beat them, but we certainly messed them up pretty badly. The worst case scenario here is that they are in terrible shape.
At your service.
Get a lot of gunfire, which is a pretty good sign. I suppose this could be the time to bring in the bats. I've been trying to make sure that we have their ranged under control first, but we have a limited amount of time for that sort of nonsense. I do appreciate the amount of cavalry they brought because it means that we get to just shoot over our guys. Their Dark Riders attack us, and then we just get stuck in right behind them. Yeah, you know, for a low-tech army, for such an extremely low-tech army, we're actually doing alright here. Are you guys just... Oh. The target I actually told you to shoot has fled. You know, ignore those guys. I don't care about those guys. This dude seems not to have taken any damage at all from my previous Spirit Leech, which is a shame.
They shall fall. Blood dispelled.
Oh man, do we have somebody who can come through and rescue these guys? deck droppers have done a good job of chasing that unit all the way into the end of the world. The Fellbats properly broke those guys. That's pretty good. Let's just have to get back over here. We have some gunfire that could be turned. These Black Ark Corsairs are certainly better than my terrible zombies at melee combat. Also, I have a lot of places where it's just like dudes decided they wanted to engage in melee combat, despite the fact that they are terrible at it. My units should actively flee melee. We gotta rewrite their AI a little bit. My Lord is breaking. He's getting manhandled by like 3 dudes over here. Look at how damaged these units are. This is what happens when you get a level 1 vampire into direct combat, I guess.
We serve.
Yeah, I mean, like, if the outcome of this is that we do a ton of damage to them and then lose, that's actually fine. It's better for us financially than keeping Samuel Fenn's army alive, and it keeps these guys in place until Silastra ready to handle them. The deck droppers probably ought to, yep, avoid that. Did you get out of the melee? I should put him in skirmish mode, but unfortunately, like, there is a mode that is explicitly for stopping enemies from getting on your ranged. But unfortunately, when you put people who can't shoot while moving on skirmish mode, my experience is they just completely stop shooting. They will never be happy with how far they are away from the enemy. They feel they must always be further, and they will just run and run and run and run. On units like cavalry archers, or even just people with pistols who can shoot while moving, it's a little bit more effective. Because they'll continuously run away, but at least they'll be doing some damage while they're doing it. Alright, so very significant losses on Rivares, almost a little bit under half for Movar. So Silastra should kill them both very, very easily and then ride through. She actually is going to have to stop for a turn, I suppose, because we have to take the settlement back. And then we have to rebuild the buildings that we lost. It's very annoying when an enemy gets into your battlefield. Oh, wow, okay. Both of them falling back to Angariel is just them completely giving up on life. We're being raided in the jungles, but the Skaven are suffering so much attrition damage that they won't be able to do that for terribly long. We could turn on that right that puts all the terrifying poison vampire mist everywhere to speed up the process of them being driven out. They didn't even actually take Port Ellistor. They just sacked it. I cannot understand what they're thinking there. They desperately need to take settlements and hold them. It's the only way they could possibly hope to slow me down, is by forcing me to retake my settlements. Because every time you take a settlement, you have to stop for the turn. So once we've broken... I can't remember the name of this other Dark Elf faction. Once we've broken these guys down over here, we have a nice recruitment base. We'll probably ride straight for Nagarond. We don't actually have to wipe out the northern Dark Elves. We just have to take Nagarond. We need that. Then we'll see if they're willing to take peace and essentially live as my vassal. I know they won't submit to formal vassalization, but let's be honest. Everybody in the world is going to know what the score is on that one. Alright. Yep. Bunch of nonsense going on.
Madam, I lost a dear fan.
Alright, then I took back Angariel. There. No! Look at the incredible amount of damage the auto-resolver dealt here.
There are
0 actual losses. Right? We've seen that battle play out plenty of times. There would have been functionally 0 losses. Almost nobody would have taken
good
damage.
understudy.
Alright, what do we want from you now? We have all of the yellow rank skills, all the yellow line skills that actually do anything. I guess, you know, he's large now. Potentially massed missile fire could be a danger to him.
Then on deck.
Alright, we're just checking the Blacklight Tower. I'm pretty sure we're going to find that it's all full of Skaven.
All ship shape.
Yep. Huh. Apparently, the fact that she knows how to scout ruins makes Skaven fear her. I guess hiding in ruins is, like, important to their survival. I suppose that kind of makes sense. Alright, how do we want to do this?
Of the fleet.
But Burke doesn't have access to anything cool from the Raised Dead pool. I guess we just move in here. I'm a little worried about an open field battle between Hellebrand and Burke. Not that we would lose, but that we might lose a significant number of units. It might be something close to a fair fight.
Admiral of the fleet.
Can we just hit Slaver's Point this turn? Oh, hold on. She has to get
Landfolk
out of this movement mode.
Make them dead. Send them down.
Okay,
Attack the
circle.
pairs.
Because it looks like he can get into reinforcement range for that battle.
Serve for eternity. Get on,
Yeah, totally.
undead raiders.
Okay, so we'll just take Slaver's Point this turn. Kill all 3 of these armies.
Attack.
So Peggy's army is pretty straightforward, but it is loaded down with tons of our best unit.
Drop anchor.
Sorry, our best
Fight.
non-Silostre unit. Okay. They don't have any walls or anything here, so let's take a quick look at their actual army composition. They have a couple of those fast-moving magical cavalry things. These seem like really neat units. Not very good against gunfire, and not very well armored. Although the fact that they're not armored isn't hugely relevant against us, because we already are pretty much ignoring armor. We have some guys with Vanguard deployment and armor-piercing missiles, a lot more ranged in this army. And a lot of, like, missile infantry, so guys who can fight and shoot. They also have some Harganeth Executioners. Armored anti-infantry armor-piercing units. Okay, that's worrying.
Lust is upon me.
I don't think we're, like, in any danger here. But I would not want to see a ton of those guys. Like, a bunch of fast-moving cavalry that reduce unit stats, backed up by some heavy infantry, might be a real danger to us, especially even if they're not heavy infantry, but they're relatively heavy and they have some kind of skirmish-style ranged attack that they can do as they approach. Also, Crone Hellebrand here is a legendary lord. I'm not familiar with her at all. She was added in the same bit of DLC that added Alariel. So I have no idea what the trait we're about to earn is. Hopefully it will be a cool one. It looks to me like we were given some good high ground here. Or rather, we took some good high ground as we moved in. I think we can probably start with 13. It's going to be a minute before we're in actual combat.
Landslapper.
Do I want to maybe set the gun line up a little bit wider? Wider and thinner so that more of our units can actually be firing? The downside to that is that we have to be a little bit wary about enemy units running into us real fast. We're not super defensible here. So you guys, I guess, can be like, whatever, right there. Our allies are coming in kind of far away from us, but I really don't want to set up over by all the trees. I want them to have to actually run right toward me in the open. Okay, so, mortars. I care most about their ranged units. Deal with these. Especially their ranged units that are in the middle of their formation. Oh hey, They have a manticore somewhere, don't they? Isn't there... Ooh, that's fancy. It's a fancy thing. Wasn't Hellebron riding a man... Ah, here we go. I want to see this. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool looking. We are definitely going to focus rifle fire on that. They have a couple of units of artillery of their own, but it's that terrible artillery unit the Dark Elves love. All right, everybody get over here. Everybody get over here and start making your way to the murder. Alright. Guard mode on, but everybody that can, let's just kill their lord right away. And actually, we don't need to wait to run our melee forward, because our melee rangers are going to be able to fire over them. So let's just grab all of these guys and push forward now. Our lord included, probably? I actually care about Peggy a little bit. I don't want her to die. So we have to be a little bit cautious, but... she can run in behind all the other melee, at the very least. Oh, also I have to keep going back and grabbing units of reinforcements. I wish you could just set a point on the map that you want all the reinforcement units to head toward as soon as they come in, and they would just do that. Then you could command them once they were actually in. Get her! Sea Shanty, reload skill up! Get her! Alright, hold on. I'm getting all lost in everything that's happening here. So, how do we want to... what do we want to do here? A couple of you do need to care about the Doomfire Warlocks that are attempting to flank us. Need, like, a unit on each side. Unit or two on each side. Cares about that. We probably want the Mourngull Haunters to actually try to get around the side of the melee. The Sirens can run right in. I'm fine with that. And what else do we have over here? Oh, we have Burke. Burke Black. Burke Black is immortal. He can just ride on fools. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm disrupting the flow of the battle here. And then, are you far enough forward that you could reasonably shoot a fireball? Not really. Sirens have ridden all the way in. This might be an overcommitment. I don't know. I'm gonna have our Vampire Lord here. Do that, man. So all Dark Elves have access to that meteor, whatever it is. Seems pretty alright. Their Lord is a coward. And you better run. Okay, units are actually in here far enough that we have to care about them now. So, let us be wary of things like shades attacking us while we're chasing them around. I do not want my Mourngull Hunters to get kited to death, but I do want them to... I think I want them to just ignore the shades right now. Let's actually look at their stats. They have 38 missile damage, is mostly armor piercing. They have 42 speed, so actually they're not going to be able to kite us. We're faster than they are. Alright, go get those guys. I will have Sirens plan to engage with the Harganeth Executioners, and this guy is still on the plan. I'm going to have him spook archers, I think. Oh, they have stealthy units. Who's stealthy? Oh, more shades. Whatever. He's getting stuck on the Harganeth Executioners. He's trying his best to completely ignore them. He really doesn't want to fight them. He wants to follow orders. Oh my god, so many units. Okay, all of you need to get the hell over here. Except new unit of mortars. New unit of mortars, I guess? Honestly, I'm just gonna give it like I'm gonna tell them to move to here. We'll figure out targeting afterward. So we have a unit of Doomfire Warlocks that is very devoted to getting in on my cavalry here. Or my artillery here. That's a thing we should stop from happening. Some of our handgunners are going to need to move forward because we got to be like on the crest of the hill. Where did their lord end up? Oh, she's right there. Well, you lot should probably continue focusing on killing her. She apparently is eating Peggy for lunch. That's not a huge surprise. Peggy is not a super good melee lord. I'm going to try to disengage. Oof. Well, I was forcibly disengaged. You are not supposed to be doing that. Huh, I told a bunch of ranged units to attack the Doomfire Warlocks. I'm not sure why some of our melee turned around as well.
Onward!
Right, shoot at her, just don't engage in melee. Those guys are dead. I'd really love it if we could get them... Okay, permanently broken. That's what I was looking for. Actually, no, you know what? Focus here. Are we... Okay, you guys should also focus here. We actually do have to get rid of their lord. Let's remember to augment our winds of magic. And then also to cast a great big invocation of Nahak. Alright, and we have people incoming. It looks to me like... Probably we want this guy just to start running over and attacking their heroes. I think he should be able to take their heroes. I'm a little worried about him being so far out by himself. Henry Aldo, you should probably try to get back toward where all the friends are. Yep, that's a good task for a unit of normal gunnery mob. That, although apparently Burke's got it somewhat under control. I'm going to have him... and have him give himself some damage resistance. He's fighting those executioners by himself. You could... honestly, focus on their lord. Like, we just really need their lord dead. It would be super cool if we didn't have to worry about this nonsense anymore. And over here, we have a final unit of artillery wheeling itself into battle. Alright, cavalry's coming, everybody. She's a large unit because she's mounted, so this should be like trivial. It should not be any problem for all of us to shoot at her even while she's engaged with my own units.
Ahoy! A curse on you!
All of you, for real, kill her.
Fleet Admiral!
The thing is, if she moves slightly, like if she breaks line of sight for even a moment, my units forget what they're doing because they're on guard mode. But if I take them off guard mode, she's going to fly away and bring them all into her army. Okay, let's just toggle it back off, I guess. So this is going down well. What am I going to do with all of these units? I think I want the monsters to just kind of run toward melee in general. Here we have some new gunners who should probably actually set up like over here. I want these gunners to come down the hill, flanking. I can't believe we have a pistol gunnery mob unit at rank 5. How did it survive this long?
I'm here!
Alright, Hellebrown's almost dead. Come on, get her. Oh, she's wheeling back around for another pass. Okay, when she drops, this is going to make the battle a lot easier. Wow, that's a cool looking spell. No, don't let her escape. She dies. Yes, awesome. Okay, so we took out their lord. That's going to have a significant effect on their morale. Mongol Haunters are running around in the backfield doing Mongol Haunter stuff, which is great. Sirens should probably actually commit to battle. Turn this off because there's just a lot of stuff happening on screen right now.
Fleet Admiral! Arise to my dominion!
Alright, let's figure out what we want to do with our rifles, because now all of our rifles need to find real targets. I think I'm going to have these guys aim just kind of generally that way. A lot of enemies to shoot on this side. Okay, you guys actually have an angle. We're going to have to move some of our melee out of the way to make some of this work. You guys should get in on that. Yeah, Peggy's army is getting shredded here. It took too long for Burke to show up to keep them healthy. Alright, I think this is the best we can do. Where is Burke right now? Who's he fighting? Okay, he should probably pull back out of those executioners. The animated Hulks are in there now. They should do a fine job of keeping this going. And I suppose we could throw a Spirit Leech out. I'm gonna save the wins, actually. Way more valuable that we keep focus on healing. Where do I want to fire artillery now? We've broken that unit of archers. I suppose there's a unit of shades over here that still needs to be hit. And that, I think, is worth doing. You guys are doing this. We probably don't need these sirens over here. We could probably pull the sirens off to help relieve some pressure, or at least do some flanking damage over here. And you guys. So you are over here breaking up these melee. Yeah, okay. The Mongol Haunters are doing some fine work. Things that actually need doing.
Powder wet. Gunnery mob. Drown.
Let's finish breaking up their range as best we can. Alright, you've done some fine work over here. Why don't you turn around and chase off the rest of these broken up units arranged and then kill that artillery crew. Their artillery really is not very scary to me. Did you just stop fighting? Did you get confused? Because remember, our units don't have, these units do not have actual regen. They have the hunger, which is to say that they have to be engaged in melee or else they are not regenerating any health. Victory's in our grasp. Yeah, this should be pretty close to over. Fall back a little bit.
A curse on you! Arise to my dominion!
Corkscrew.
You guys just get out of the way. We will start shooting. There we go. There goes the gunfire. Alright, there's some permanent breakages. In fact, that's everybody. Okay, this should be good XP for the Mongol Haunters, and probably that's got to be the vast majority of Harganeth's military strength, right? Unfortunately, we've also done a real favor for them financially, because I'm sure they were paying through the nose for all these extra armies that were just a lord. Whatever, we'll figure it out. You can see over the course of that entire battle, like just barely 100 total kills between both of their artillery units. Elf artillery is really, really bad. Like to the point where I would almost rather just have more archers. We did lose some handgunners. Army is too light on melee to defend its handgunners in a real long battle like that.
Blood and plunder. Don't mind
We
us.
are... Yeah, we're just going to occupy this.
For sword.
Got ourselves a Banner of Eternal Flame. And Oh wow, defeating Hellebron is actually a pretty good buff. Unfortunately, this is really a melee-focused buff, and our hero here prefers to use her pistol.
Of the fleet.
Okay, so what did you need? That's right, we were building toward Black Flag with you. It's like I can't quite reach them. Oh, I'm in march mode anyway.
Admiral of the fleet.
Peggy is going to need some recuperation time here. I am going to pick up movement range, though, because always pick up movement range. Man, what...
Dark
Why are all their settlements so garbage? Actually, this really sucks. The fact that we're not going to be able to complete the settlement without attacking the Skaven. Or the province, because that means this province is never going to be secure. Ugh.
Of the fleet.
Alright. Finish getting your melee attack. Yeah, this is going to be tough to hold. We might not bother. Honestly, we might use it to rebuild and replenish here for a couple of turns, and then just leave and let it fall to rebels, because I don't actually care about any of this. Lenny Sealegs is leveling up. I don't know why, he didn't do anything.
Fair wind. Admiral of the fleet. Setting sail.
Yeah, we're just gonna abandon. We are also going to turn on the Cursed Mist. Push these Skaven out of our territory a little bit faster. I don't care enough to actually like go over there and fight them or anything. So we definitely don't need public order. I guess corruption? Corruption's the only thing that even sort of matters here. It's annoying, though, having to rebuild. The Shrine of Asturion and the Tower of Lycene are both kind of irrelevant. The only reason to level them up is so that we can level up the money-making buildings. We don't really need to level that up either. Yeah, it doesn't really matter which one of these we do this with. I have to repair the damaged buildings from the sacking. Don't worry, this place will get back to positive public order real fast. It's just the little bit of provincial instability. It'll wear off.
Madame Silostra, dear fan.
Silostra's probably a couple of turns away from getting up to the North Shore, but I don't think it's worth pulling anybody else back. And I don't think it's worth starting another army either. She's close enough now. She's got it under control. We're going to lose a couple of settlements probably, and then we'll take them all back. And in the meantime, Harganeth is burning to the ground. We should actually check, how many settlements does Harganeth have? 15! Really? Oh, they have all this northern stuff. Well, that's annoying. I was kind of hoping that we could eliminate them while they were out, but no, that is not even remotely possible. Well, annoying. Tor Anlek does not have a garrison building. Because by the time we took Tor Anlek, I was thinking that we didn't need them anymore because we had the island under control. Well, we could demolish something to start building one now, but I don't know that it's really worth the effort. If they want to take Tor Anlek, they're going to take it. Yeah, we should probably do something. We can get rid of the growth building. Whatever, that's fine. Alright, let's see what they do here. Lothern has a new army available. Apparently I'm going to have to kill Malekith as well. We do actually just need somebody sitting on Ulthuan, maybe. I really wanted to try to split our force up a little bit more, you know, really try to take over a large portion of the world, but apparently... Yep, Clan Pestilence, okay. Clan Pestilence did redeclare on us. That's alright, we have an army in position to turn around and go fight them. That's annoying, though. I hate owning territory. So we're not going to be able to go after the Awakening, because now we have to go home and fight Skaven, even though the Skaven did not want to be at war with us. What, like 2 turns ago? 3 turns ago? They wanted to not be at war with me so much that they were willing to pay for the privilege of not being at war with me. Ugh, and the Skaven Empire, the Clan Pestilence Empire, is so large that actually wiping them out is... that is a grand task. Well, it seems like it might be necessary. We might have to just cleanse all of the other factions off the western side of the map. And we're going to have to do it all at once, because they won't stop being at war with us. The Vampire Coast invited Clan Pestilence to fight me. What a bunch of monsters. Okay, so we pull back. The 2 armies that were headed toward the Awakening, we pull them back. We actually wipe out all of Skavendom. Up north, we probably got to start burning stuff. Like, taking territory in this area is fine to use it as a staging ground, but there's no sense in claiming anything that we're not going to actually try to defend, because they'll just take it back, and it will be in better shape than it would be if we had burned it. If we burn everything, we can make it very, very difficult for them to just have a string of conquers, because they're going to have to commit significant manpower to rebuilding everything that we've destroyed.
I need an audience.
Alright, let us go fast. How far north can we get with going fast? Pretty far, actually. Then we can use the port at Evershale to get back on land, really, without paying a movement penalty. Head through the Phoenix Gate and just clean this up. Boy, I just do not care about some money floating in the ocean at all right at this moment.
Captain, on deck.
What are you gonna do? I honestly don't know. I don't know what her plan is. I guess there's treasure. Right? There's treasure over here somewhere. Yeah, we have a skull treasure to dig up, and also that dragon thing. Also, she could, like, assault units, but I don't know that, like, our armies have it under control.
Moving.
Go dig up treasure, I guess.
Sea dog.
Getting pretty close with these haunters.
Dog.
Honestly, that was a part of our mission objectives that I was a little worried about. I'm glad to see that that's going down so easily. Well, how many settlements does this Skaven player have? How big is he? 9? The thing is, we're going to have to wipe him out, right? If I don't wipe him out, he's just going to be invited to fight me, and then he's going to attack. You know, we have to kill him anyway, so we may as well just kill him. What is going to be the best way to deal with him, though? Because we could try to hold this one province. It's good to have a staging ground somewhere. If we go to Blacklight Tower, we're probably going to want to use both of our stacks on it, though, because it's huge
Admiral of the fleet.
and properly walled. We don't have access to any good recruitment here. It's going to take us forever to recruit anything. And you know what? There's a good raised Deadpool now. Well, no, there isn't. Lied to me. Well, if we can grab these and one of those and a couple units of just bad melee. Gotta keep the march going. I don't really want to chase these ones, and they're not in friendly territory, so they're not going to be able to recruit well. Karn is going to rebel soon, but taking the Blacklight Tower is important.
The seas are my domain.
We also should try to kill Admiral Darcis, because, like I said, the armies are replaceable much more easily than Black Arcs are. I feel like a Black Arc is dealing some damage they're going to have trouble undoing. I suppose we ought to
Get moving.
just ride out and 40-man this Black Ark real
Landfolk are
fast.
weak.
No sense in allowing it to sit here in my ocean.
The Rookie are no pirates.
Unfortunately, once again, we are forced to engage with Peggy. Not the way I would prefer to do this.
Setting sail.
The sea knows my fate. 3 sheets to the wind.
Vampire of the waves.
Yeah, I have far too much movement for that retreating stuff to work. We could fight this manually, but it looks like it'll go pretty much in our favor on the auto-resolve, and I just looked at the clock. We'll probably have to get out of this episode. Alright, so that's another Black Ark down. We can hit Blacklight Tower from the water, I guess. That's going to have to be the plan.
No prey, no pay.
Remember, we don't take any attrition from reefs anymore, because we researched a tech for that.
3 sheets to the
Just
wind.
keep you two pretty much together. And we can hit Blacklight Tower next turn.
Deckhands.
And you guys have to turn around and fight the Skaven.
Plain sailing.
How do I want to do this? We could slow roll with Bones McDonald this turn and just not make landfall so that we can do it together. Alternatively, I could run up here. We know for a fact that Skrulk's army is right there and that they're in pretty good health. So I probably don't want to take...
Blood kiss of this.
Yeah, we'll just stay close. We probably don't want to try to take on 31 Skaven units with a single stack. Alright, well, I guess that's all we're getting. Alright, let's do one more sequence of enemy turns. Yeah, this is why I was reluctant in the early going of the campaign to just, like, take a ton of garbage territory. Because, like, territory that doesn't help you is more of a liability than anything else. Yep, more and more elves coming to the North Shore, and all of them will be slain. Silastra is very, very good at her job. Yeah, okay, you can raid. That's fine. Yeah, man, I really don't want to get stuck in a forever war with the Skaven in the jungle. That just sounds like a nightmare. I'm glad that they killed all the lizard men that were down here first.
When
Yes, fine. It's ridiculous, though, that he can invite somebody else to war with me and then get a peace treaty. He is a coward. It's alright. We'll spend the next 400 turns fighting Skaven in the jungle, and then we'll mount Luther Harkon's head on a pike. Dwarves have declared war on all of the eastern pirates, which is probably fine. Could potentially lead to that bug where a faction with a pirate cove gets eliminated and it makes the game unplayable, I suppose. There is a patch that they published for that, but they put it in beta rather than in full release because it's not actually ready for prime time, which makes me a little nervous about using it. Obviously, they had to get it out. It has to be available to people. Because the bugs that they shipped are unacceptable. Also, it changes the way a bunch of the faction skill trees work. So updating to the patch now in the middle of the game would basically, like, completely ruin a bunch of the old world lords because their skills, all of the skill points that they have spent would be meaningless now. The skills that they had spent those skill points in are just gone. So we're going to try to finish the game without applying the patch. But if we have to, we have to. Okay, Eve's back. She appeared at the floating pyramid for some reason. Doesn't really... Why would she appear at the floating pyramid?
Captain, report.
Is that where she was originally recruited? I'll come over here and search this. Let's get vision of this.
Plenty of plunder.
So that army there
I'm blind to this.
is in absolutely perfect health. Not much of a garrison though, because they, taking a settlement downgrades it. I think we can roll in here with these two armies and just take it back through sheer force of numbers. And I mean, both of these armies have reasonable stuff in them at least. Although ranged heavy armies versus Skaven's a little tricky because of the Skaven appearing from underground wherever they want to. We're going to be pretty careful about how we fight this. But I think that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time when apparently we're going to spend 3 or 4 videos just reclaiming all of the stuff that we had already claimed. And we'll see you then.